Now, this right here is going to be another chance for us to determine the the top two teams from each respective group that will be making it into the next stage of the IESF World Esports Championship 2024 held in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. We are here for you guys today at the English broadcast. My name is Hans Valeria, and together with me is Womi, bringing you the action right up on ahead, man. And I feel like, just like you, I am sure that everybody else is also looking forward, hopefully, for a lot of pretty intense games that we get to see today.
Yeah, after last night, I'm sure everybody watching IESF is just hungry for a lot of MLBB action. Right off the bat, we're going to watch USA go up against Morocco. And at this point, I feel like we could already say that USA is not going to enter this match as the underdog. They are looking at this match as something that they could possibly dominate, but that doesn't take away from Morocco, who could possibly be the dark horse of this group. Because if we look at the entire Group A, it's just filled with monsters that have a lot of international tournament experience.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, for a lot of times that we've seen, right, the respective teams, I feel like it is also a chance and opportunity for us to take a look at what happened yesterday, because indeed we did miss on a lot of these. But as of the moment, you're looking at, on the left side, it's Saudi Arabia winning against Egypt 2-1, it's Mongolia winning against Ukraine 2-0, and it's Philippines winning against Morocco 2-0 as well.
Yeah, and for Group B, or the other group rather, we are seeing Indonesia dominating Guam. This is the one game that we were able to watch yesterday, and for the rest of this the series as well, you can see that all of them ended in sweeps. There was only one 3-game series in all of the games of yesterday, where it was Saudi Arabia versus Egypt. So right now, Malaysia is looking healthy. USA currently 0-2. If they're able to secure a win against Morocco, they're going to be really happy to get that. And with everything that's happening here, Hans, looking at Philippines and Malaysia, one of the best regions, or two of the best regions rather, in the world for MLBB, now 1-1. This is surely an intense battle.
It is going to be an intense battle. I wish we would at least have our eyes set on it, but apparently we're just going to be waiting for the results for it to happen. But one thing is for sure, whoever gets to win in that specific game and series will make it into the next round, because both of these teams have already claimed at least one series victory, apart from the one-game victory that they have in this specific series of their very own. Just like what you mentioned, right?
I'm not quite sure about this, Hans, but looking at what happened to KSA in Indonesia, this is something that I really want to check out. If this is like, real, because right now it's really hard to believe. No offense to the Saudi Arabian team, but this is really a shocking series if ever it is correct. Like, this is 2-0 Indonesia and KSA rather. So we're gonna have to confirm that. But overall, it seems that Saudi is coming in here to play.
Yeah, bro. The hosts are not playing around. You know that they mean business as of the moment. Things that happened in the past, we're going to be taking a look at what could possibly be the next set of teams that will have a chance to stay alive here in our today's schedule. Morocco losing against Philippines is going to be on the line to go up against USA, who also lost to Malaysia from yesterday's matchup. And then for Group A, you're going to have Indonesia with their tournament life on the line. It seems so weird for me to say that as of the moment. And they will go up against whoever is going to be, you know, the winner or the loser of the other bracket in the respective people. I feel like this is going to be an interesting set of events. We have USA and Indonesia, two prolific regions in the name of MLBB, who are already in their tournament life, and I feel like that is, you know, saying a lot about the complexity of IESF so far.
Yeah, and for IESF happening in Riyadh right now, definitely these players flew in, and realizing that the tournament is really a big competitive landscape. If you look at the players slotted in for each respective country, so you could see very familiar faces, a very few that we could say that is fresh out of the bat, but a lot of these players have already experienced a lot of international play, and some of them even visiting other regions as well. So I would say like right now for IESF, it's only just day 2, but we're seeing already like contenders for the possible championship already. So I'm very excited to see whether or not Morocco could recover from their tough loss against the Philippines. I mean, kind of understand that it is the Philippines for MLBB. So Morocco, big chance here to secure some points against USA. But for USA, surely they wouldn't let Morocco do that to them. You know, even one game counts, so maybe a 1-1 could be great for both squads here.
Yeah, and I think we talked about this last night too. About ever since the USA given us a shocker in the recent World Championship that happened like 2-3 years ago, they haven't really made a mark in the next set of tournaments that we've had. Always, unfortunately getting the exit in the first round, maybe in the group stages, and maybe in IESF, one of the tournaments that could feature the United States of America as well. Maybe they would want to change that. Going up against Morocco, I mean, it is still going to be a tough order to go for, because whoever is going to be winning here will be facing the loser of the Philippines and Malaysia. Because again, this is the group of death, right? So Morocco, they are indeed the complete underdogs here. But I feel like if you have at least less than 24 hours to learn from your opponents, I feel like the Philippines is one of the best regions or countries to look at in terms of like the gameplay in itself. Because, there's a lot of imports transported from one country to another. And I feel like they really do know what they're doing.
Yeah, and overall, the culture out there in IESF, especially all of the players in Riyadh, it's impossible that these players haven't shared information or at least scrimmed against each other. And that's the beauty of having all of them in one place. And I feel like this is one of the best reasons as to why IESF in Riyadh right now is working. Like you have all of these talents flying out from their respective countries, moving towards one singular goal and eventually reaching that. And what I love about that is it's not only the teams and players benefiting from the cultural exchange, but also all of the meta picks and other stuff like that, like local metas being exchanged as well.
Yeah, I feel like as in this moment, by the way, guys, you can take a look at the redeem code that is right there below. Go ahead and claim it, because as of the moment, while we're not telling you to check the redeem code, someone has probably claimed it already. But again, going back to what Wumi has mentioned, I feel like you're absolutely right. Given the fact that, Morocco, I feel like this is one of the first few international tournaments of MLBB that they've ever been a part of. And as much as it is cool, right, it also gives you a chance to learn from some of the best regions of MLBB in the world. You have USA, you have Malaysia, and you also have the Philippines. I mean, of course, at first you're probably not talking to them because again, they're your opponents and you don't want to go up against them like immediately. But right afterwards, I feel like most of our Filipino contingents, right, they would want to talk to their opponents, especially with the ones that they don't usually interact very often because they're the new players in the block, such as Morocco. This happened way back in SEA Games where some of our representatives from the Philippines were talking to players from Timor-Leste. They were trying to, learn more about the respective ideas and how they could make their gameplay even better. And I feel like for Morocco being, some of the new players on the block, they could learn a thing or two from the three countries here. But they're going to have to apply it quickly going up against USA to save their tournament life.
Definitely. And what I love about this is the pressure, the storylines building up as well. It's really something that would challenge Morocco and push them even further to be a better squad. And it seems that that sparked a memory right inside your brain, Hans. What's in your mind?
Yeah. I just want to go back to what you've mentioned from yesterday. It seemed like the Easy server as one of the USA's representatives from before.
Hey, no, not my words. Not my words. It's the community's label.
Right? Not our
label.
words. Okay. Someone who shall not be named has claimed Malaysia to be an easy server, and apparently it's Malaysia who is currently not part of the lower bracket. So
Oh,
it's gonna be pretty interesting as to how USA is gonna be bouncing back from that. But as of the moment, you currently see USA and Morocco. This is gonna be a best of three series, Umi. I feel like we haven't seen a game in a while. I'm just excited to see a lot of games here right now.
yeah, I'm really excited as well. Looking at the picks, you could see standard early picks here with the Gata Kacha and the Hilda as well. These two picks are really insane in the meta right now. Just the Thunderbelt stacking, the Revitalize, all of these things make up for a great frontliner that is also able to heal other people who want to stay in the front. And this also confirms this Grok pick for the side of Morocco already confirms that this is going to be an XP lane Hilda, something that we have seen rise in popularity for the past few weeks, and rightfully so. The Thunderbelt damage on this guy, or girl rather, is just really good in their current patch. So with the final bans, they take away the Nolan and the Lunox. It seems that they're targeting the gold lane in the jungle of Morocco.
Yeah, I actually find it very weird to not see, a jungler in the first phase of the picks. I mean, you still have a lot of options available, although the Nolan has already been eliminated here by the USA. So I feel like for Morocco, the idea that they want to have is to just fortify the durability of their lineup with the Hilda and the Grok as well. You have enough sustainability with those two heroes, and you can also set up some plays with the Grok and the Aurora as your combination. But you're starting to see somewhat of like a front to back composition from USA just because they already have Suyu and the Gatot Kacha on their side. But for Morocco, they're going to be going up with a Claude, quite different from what we've seen yesterday. This is somewhat of a really good early, mid, and late game damage output. They have it all covered. It really is just going to matter on how they would be able to execute it in terms of the rotations.
Yeah, and so far in terms of the draft, I would say that the USA have secured quite the powerful pickups out here. You said the term front to back, and for the side of USA, they could definitely go front to back here with the Khalid plus this Gatat Kacha. A lot of survivability in their front lines, and you also have this Valentina that could potentially burst people down. Not sure for the Hilda, but definitely for this Claude. The moment the Claude comes in Hoon this time around, the Valentina still has his abilities. I think for the side of Morocco, this Claude has to buy this time. He has to find the perfect timing to enter with that Blazing Duet, because this is a lot of front up damage for the side of USA. And to respond, the side of Morocco takes the Joy, another assassin that's starting to rack up the popular pick so far.
Yeah, I like the pickup coming in from the Joy. It kind of like gives an option to easily evade most of the crowd control skills that will arrive from the side of USA, because again, you see the Nolan, you see the Alpha, even the Fanny being eliminated here by both of the teams in the ban. So I thought the idea that they had in mind was to go for something a little more agile, and they were able to do that. But the concern that I had here for the side of Morocco is whether or not both the Hilda and the Grok can go and match the rotation that the Joy is going to be going for, because Joy is pretty fast, and for most of the time, if it gets picked off in the early portions of the game, it's going to be a problem. And at this point, you can't risk those problems, because when you get 2 game defeats, you're going to be eliminated from the competition.
Yeah, it's very important that they secure their wins right now, because for USA, they do have that Suyu, a lot of early game clear, and Fried Chicken going in for the level 1 invade doesn't really work out, has to burn that flicker, but at least delays the Joy for a bit of maybe a few seconds.
Yeah, as of this moment, he had the right idea, just not the best execution, because Morocco had their eyes set on bringing Fried Chicken down, forcing the flicker to be able to get away from that one. 2 minutes in, you're gonna have to wait at least for 40 more seconds before that flicker of Fried Chicken comes through. Most of the time, United States and Morocco just safely getting most of their objectives as of this point. Best player trying to secure that level 3, and also you see a rival getting that faster rotations, but it's best player 1 being very aggressive towards that Riverside.
Yeah, trying to get that level 4 as fast as possible, but look at the damage coming in from this Suyu. Forces the flicker out of Kenji, and now short advantage here for the side of United States in the gold lane. A lot of pressure coming in from this Suyu, and still no kills on the board. It's a minute and 30, and I think both teams are just finding the perfect timing for their power spikes.
Yeah, both flickers for at least a member of each team has been burned here, but White Chicken and USA is going to have a chance. But look at this, though.
Pride of Ice already burnt here for the Aurora. Good for her that she had that passive, and that could have been a kill for best player 1. But now, here comes the Hilda, looking to protect the mid laner as well. Great response coming in from Morocco, trying to just respond to the pressure coming in from United States, but a lot of damage still coming in from this Suyu. And overall, just a trade-off in the rotation.
Yeah, just a lot of damage output in the early game for the United States. They know that Hayato is not going to be part of that skirmish so far, having the Flood on this side. But in addition, you know, Super Rival takes some time to get activated. You need that level 4. Unfortunately, he's level 5 now. He might be take the fight to the third one.
Yep, half HP on this turtle. Raging Sandstorm already used up, but here comes the Avatar of the Guardian, lands a Nun, and Super Rival has to run away. But look at this crowd control coming in from both squads. Still first blood going to the hands of United States. It looks like White Chicken is still alive, plus the Suyu as well. Flicker play coming in from Heisenberg. It's not going to be enough to secure that kill on White Chicken. 2 for none. Morocco takes the advantage.
Yeah, that was a really good counter attack coming in from Heisenberg, using that ultimate to at least force those extra players from the United States to get stunned, and that wouldn't have been possible as well without the wild charge. But look at this best player 1.
Oh no! Best player 1 has to dash away. Now Super Rival still alive, but looks like the turtle has to be reset here by Morocco. Their jungler is bleeding, almost getting a kill on best player 1 too.
No, bro, I cannot believe that they just let the turtle go. Like, they don't give a care in the world whether or not the turtle is low on HP. I mean, he probably had the right decision there. He was almost going to take one member of the United States down. But the only problem is he also didn't have enough HP to back the damage up, and as of the moment, it's United States and Morocco back and forth affair towards this very first turtle. And I feel like in this case, if you are Morocco, it kind of benefits you a little bit just because you already have 2 kills on your side, and the turtle's not happening just yet.
And Super Rival is level ahead against best player 1, which is really good for Morocco. You want this Joy to be ahead, especially up against the Suyu. In terms of retribution damage, still gotta give it to best player 1. You have the new hero generally just deals a lot of damage on the turtle, but in terms of fighting, the Joy definitely has more damage around that team fight.
Yeah, as of this moment, the turtle's still there. You know, 4 minutes and 30 seconds, and there hasn't been a single team who has taken a major objective in this one, not even a turret. So at this point in time, if you are Morocco, you're practically doing a good job, just because, you know, the Claude's being well taken care of. And I feel like if you are US, you're gonna have to force something.
Yep, Avatar of Guardian doesn't land on 1, but look at that. Kenji comes in as well. Great crowd control coming in from Heisenberg. And now, Hilda trying to give vision for Morocco, but half HP on this turtle. USA trying to protect this objective real quickly, but I feel like it's already going to be a give. Morocco going to trade that turtle for some purple buffs.
Yeah, good utilization of those ultimates from the side of the United States. They also forced Morocco to get out of the position to try and contest for that major objective, and with that, they were able to take the first major turret, or major objective rather, of this game, and that is a way for you to take control, because again, it has been a stalemate so far. Not a lot of objectives being taken down, but I feel like now that most of the energy shields are completely out, as of this point, Morocco might have a very difficult time here, because 4 members are already going to the bot lane for US.
Yeah, but for USA, they're no longer trailing behind Morocco. For the longest time, we have seen that 600 gold lead on the side of Morocco. This time around, it's going to be on USA. And with that, they're going to try to control the pacing of this game, and probably to get that big advantage against Morocco. But now they're going to go for the gold lane. They're going to get one turret, and they will be able to secure that quite safely.
Oh, that's painful. If you're Ayato, you're starting to feel T's damage as of this moment, and you're really going to have to take care of business, and that is not the best case scenario for Morocco here if you want to extend the later portions of the game, because again, it went into the hands of best player one, and that is a dream if you are the Suyo. Not only do you have extra early game damage, you also brought down a turtle and in a kill to, you know, give it an icing on the cake.
Yeah, and not good for Morocco. Getting a solo kill on the assassin of the other team, and that was a trade-off between two junglers too. Upcoming, the last turtle is upcoming, and I feel like it's going to be smart for Morocco to either go for turrets instead or go for pickoffs before the turtles even start. They cannot just do or give it for free, but looks like they will be giving it for free instead.
Yeah, they had an idea to try to go for that L bush on the lower side of the map, but they were unable to do so, and this is where things are starting to, you know, create problems for Morocco. When you use that conceal to just go ahead and escape in that certain situation, that starts to become a problem because you don't have anything else left to use.
Yep, Raging Sandstorm on one, Avatar of the Guardian lands in two, and Kenji gets taunted as well. Underneath the turret, Shark will be tanking a bit of damage. No conversions just yet for United States, but they're able to deal a lot of damage on this turret rather.
Yeah, just safe calls here from US. They're forcing team fights to take and win, and that is most especially during the times when Ayato is not part of that fight. You see him already in level 9, and even with Super Rival leading by at least a level in the first 5 minutes of the game, everything has changed as soon as best player one started to get that solo kill. Now they want to go.
Oh no, defensive ultimate coming in from Kenji. That's one of the saddest things that you can see coming in from a Grok. You don't want to use that wild charge defensively. So for Morocco, they're starting to lose the pacing of this game, and they can't really do much about it if they can't pull the trigger.
Yeah, they cannot pull the trigger in this one, and not only that, they are also unable to find anything in terms of objectives, because again, I feel like both Shark and White Chicken are really doing an incredible job in just making sure that every single member of Morocco has been taken into consideration, giving vision to both best player 1 and T for them to, you know, unleash at least the damage output that would be necessary for them to pull off the macro game. Because we saw Morocco a while ago, they're fighting tooth and nail here with the rest of the members of the United States, but as soon as the US went macro, I felt like Morocco didn't have a lot of answers, thus creating the 6K gold lead.
And you could see that with a low kill score too, 2-1 on the board, and USA is already ahead by around 5,000, almost 6,000 at least. It's just all about the objectives, all about the lane pressure, all about taking those turrets. And now Kenji might be in trouble, couldn't even move an inch, and that's going to be a kill for the side of United States, as the rest of the Moroccan squad has to go out and give the Lord.
Yeah, they're going to have to find a way to take this one down, and I feel like Rebel's going to force it.
Super Rival goes down, tries to steal it away, but sadly bites the dust instead.
My goodness, that was not the best decision there, apparently. I mean, you have Ayato, right? You even have Eisenberg, so you can absolutely defend this if you are, you know, Morocco at this point in time, but they're probably considering the damage output that, you know, the United States has, and whether or not they will be able to sustain the damage output that they will be having here. So for Morocco, they're gonna have to keep it in the base, and my goodness.
Yep, a lot of defense has to be played here for Morocco. Hoon does have the Frigid Glacier on his IMU, and this might just be the GG push if they're able to get at least one big engage. Here comes the Avatar, finds onto the Pride of Ice, already burnt as well, but Aito able to deal a lot of damage. That's 1 for 1 for now, and Shark is low in HP. Look at the damage on that Joy. T goes down, but best player is still there. Heisenberg is alive. It's a 3-for-2 exchange, and looks like it's a successful defense for Morocco. And moving forward, it seems that we are looking at a potential extension in this game.
Oh wow.
Morocco is still able to survive that one.
Yeah, I was surprised. I didn't see what was going on. All of a sudden, I feel where the strength of Morocco lies in the content that they have. As soon as Ayato finally joins the party here and just trying to gather most of those objectives, that is really going to pay dividends for this Morocco squad. The only problem is, if they fail to do that, they're going to go down.
Yeah, that's Kenji going down once again, and looks like Super Rival fighting for his life for that purple buff, able to get that. Was starting to hurt, honestly. Morocco is able to deal a lot of damage with this Joy, but the trick is he has to be able to use that Rhythm of Joy and electrifying beats with a somewhat perfect rhythm. Looks like Best Player 1 catches him off guard. Shark on the other side of the map. That's going to be one inhibitor turret down, one left for the side of Morocco as they survive that initial push.
Yeah, they were unable to break on all of those inhibitors, but at least they were able to bring down one due to their aggressive nature that they really displayed upon start of the fight. Now it's USA trying to go at it again, and that is another one biting the dust here. Chris Combat finally getting back to base, and that is an advantage because in 15 seconds the Lord is going to be appearing in this match, and if you're 4 heroes up against 5, usually the numbers don't lie in that one.
Yeah, and they can't even contest this time around because it's like a 6k gold lead with their jungler on the other side of the map. They are going to be able to secure at least one turret for this Luminous Lord, but other than that, they're not going to be able to take anything else. In fact, the Khalid is rushing down bottom lane right now, and it might just be defended, but a little bit too late there. Morocco gets a turret, meanwhile USA gets the Luminous Lord.
Yeah, that is a really good trade if you are the US. I mean, Morocco practically doesn't have a lot of choice. When you take a look at it, everything has been invested towards their damage dealers. Both Ayato and Super Rival, they've done a good job in trying to stay within striking distance within the gold of the United States, but you can't lie, that 7k gold lead really is going to be a huge problem for them to claim victory in this one, because not only are they trying to gather towards that 7k gold lead, you also have a Lord marching onto the top side, and that is just one of the many things that you're going to have to take a look at. Will US be able to finish this game?
Yeah, let's see if they are going to be able to end it in this Luminous Lord push. Kenji, half HP. They're still going to look at this inhibitor turret in the mid lane, and they will be able to do so. Conceal play coming in from Kenji. Doesn't really land that wild charge, and now Ayato goes frozen and goes dead as the avatar lands, and Kenji might just be falling as well. Frigid Laser on 3, but that's not going to be enough, as will be a clean wipeout in the game for United States.
United States of America safely securing that game number 1. They had us in the first quarter, not gonna lie. Morocco probably had us in the first half, not gonna lie. And then all of a sudden, US just do what they usually do, right? Just making sure that everything has been unlocked. And I feel like for most of the tournaments that they have played, the experience of playing macro has really been showcased here. Their learnings towards playing against other regions and other countries as well has really benefited this team towards creating and making this victory possible for the US.
And I gotta say, Best Player 1 in that game really played well towards the mid to the late game. He was able to recover from a slight stomp in the early parts of the game, and I think the Joy was ahead by 2 levels, but eventually he was able to deal with that the moment that they went in for the massive rotation. So I'm quite excited to see how he actually built that Suyu, because right now there's still not a fixed item slot, or a fixed item path rather, for that Suyu. And I did see a couple of War Axe out there, a little bit of sustain, and that is an option that we've seen, but we've seen like players like Carl TZ and other assassin users to go full damage. That also works out. So still a lot of experimentation running around on that pick, but surely in that game number 1, that wasn't an experiment at all. USA with a dominant victory.
Yeah, I mean, just like what we said during the start of the draft, both Best Player One and Fried Chicken are able to at least go ahead with the start of the initiation for the side of the US. And then all of a sudden, when all of those skills are finally exhausted and utilized, it's Shark's turn to just go with the Avatar of the Guardian and unleash those stuns and taunts towards the rest of the members of Morocco. Yes, pretty agile are the members of Morocco. You have the Claude, you also have the Joy, and the Hilda as well. The only problem is that when most of those skills are finally, burnt up through the constant and consistent fighting from one place to another, then it starts to become a problem for Morocco. In fact, they were able to at least hold down those, 2-0 kill score lead, but it didn't matter in the later portions of the game.
Yeah, and then at the later portions of the game, we did see Ayato deal quite a bit of damage, but sadly, it was caught off guard by Best Player One in that last team fight. And I feel like that's one of the game-winning plays, definitely, for the side of USA, taking away the gold laner in the last team fight. I think that was the last hope of Morocco as well to defend it. They were able to keep that Claude alive, and yes, he did have the winner's truncheon. And I feel like if he was able to keep himself alive for the last few seconds, that might have been a defense, but sadly, it was caught off guard, had to do the Blazing Duet Crown combo really quickly, and eventually just fell down.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, I'm glad you mentioned the word fell down, because whoever loses in this series is automatically gonna fall down. Like, there's no point of return, because this is a double elimination setup, right? So, as of this moment, Morocco's just one game loss away from saying goodbye to this tournament. Meanwhile, if you are the US, you are one win away from facing. By the way, we already have an update, because I was actually watching like some of the separate broadcasts as well, and it's the Philippines winning against Malaysia 2-1.
Oh, so you're gonna go up against the MSC champions. That's what's gonna happen if you lose here.
Yeah. Whether you're Morocco or the US, if you're the US, you're probably gonna try to force a rematch towards Malaysia and go with the drama server versus the easy server, banter all over again. Or at this moment, if you are Morocco, you're probably tired of all of the shenanigans happening with that kind of storyline, and you want to showcase as the new kids on the block, then maybe it's your time to shine, right? Why not? You've had a really good early game from a while ago, and I felt like that was the best opportunity for them that they've had all tournament. Unfortunately, they were just unable to capitalize on it.
And they did have a great early game for the Moroccan squad there in game number one. Sadly, early game didn't last long. USA quick to pick up on that pace that Morocco wanted to keep, and they eventually just went in for big rotation, especially around that gold lane area in the early parts of the game. So gotta respect USA for that. They knew that they could capitalize on a different strategy instead, and they went for it quickly, and they went for it hard, because the Harith just played really nicely for the past for maybe the entire mid to the late game. He was untouchable even in the front lines.
And T was one of the newest additions to the squad, because most of the names that we've had from the US, right, are practically familiarity there for most of the players. Just in case you guys missed out on it, right? We're going to be showing the lineups of the respective squads. I want to know what you guys think about this. Morocco continuously representing their squad with Ayato, Super Rival, Kenji, Heisenberg, and Bad Combat. And that was Chris Combat a while ago, but you have Bad Combat there.
And this time, we will see USA once again rocking those beautiful jerseys. Best Player One, Fried Chicken, Hoon, T, and Shark. We talked about T last game. He was able to play quite well, especially with the rotations coming in for Team USA. But gotta say, if this is one of his first few international tournaments, the experience rather that he could get in this entire thing could potentially drive him to become a better player come their local professional league comes online once again. So feel like for USA, this is just a wealth of experience. They are one of those regions that is in the brink of being one of the better or best regions out there of MLBB.
Yeah.
They're right in that middle to the top part, I would say. Like, they're one big win away from telling people, like, hey, MLBB is big here. You know, MLBB is good. We know how to play good.
Yeah, honestly, that goes for both of the teams, right? Just imagine if Morocco all of a sudden does the reverse sweep against the US, who have been participating in a lot of the international tournaments so far. That would really put a huge win, a huge statement for Morocco, most especially because we are even looking at the possibility of even spreading or widening the range of MLBB towards the European and African countries, or African countries, and I feel like this is a chance for them to be able to do so. The participation of you being part of IESF for the very first time. I know I've mentioned Bahrain. I know I've mentioned Guam from a while ago, and I feel like Morocco is no stranger to that as well. But as of this moment, when you're going up against the US, I feel like this is where most of the chances or the opportunities are really going to be important, because US, just like what I said a while ago, these are very familiar players who already have had international experience prior to this, so they know what they're going for. They know what they're talking about. So Morocco has got to have their hands full on this one, man.
And moving towards other teams, Hans, I just want to talk about something that we touched upon earlier.
Go ahead.
I know I was in disbelief when I saw KSA beating Indonesia 0-2, and I checked it and I confirmed it, and apparently it's true.
Yeah.
They got 2-0. That is insane. I wish I was there. I wish I was able to. I don't even wish that I casted it. Not even as a. I just want to see that game, Like, I want to know how Saudi pulled that off, because if we look at the roster coming in from Saudi, they've had good international experience. They've always been there around, but they haven't really secured something that is more than top 4 or within top 3. They never secured that. But to 2-0 Indonesia, that is insane. That's already a big win, and that puts Indonesia in a tough spot. So right now KSA is making waves. Like, imagine doing that in your home court. Like, IESF is happening in Riyadh right now, and you do that in your home court. IESF beating one of the giants in MLBB. I wish I was there. I'm just saying, man.
Yeah, that was honestly just. I do think that I owe you one. I owe you one photograph, so I sent it to you. Just make sure to check it. It's about the statement of one player from Indonesia where they're not going to be losing a single match. And
well, it just happened.
That didn't go well, unfortunately. So I feel like back to the drawing board they go. Saudi Arabia is going to be one of the first few teams that we can determine is going to be making it into the next stage of the competition. But for the Philippines, they're also going to be sharing that as well. And whoever is going to be winning here in this first series will go up against Malaysia to determine who the second, player or country of Group B is going to make it into the playoffs. That is a lot to take, if you ask me.
All very interesting information as well. It's one of those things that makes you think what could happen in the future. Like when we look at these teams, we always speculate how far they would go. When you look at Indonesia, the first idea that you could had, within top 3, definitely. We have like an all-star lineup. You have like Kiboy, you have like Sans, you have these people that have competed in the world stage for the longest time, and then suddenly you look at the roster coming in from Saudi, and you're gonna look like, they have achieved, I think, more than the play-ins. They have played in the early parts of a lot of M series already, and you'd think that, they could possibly get top 6, or now I'm thinking they could possibly go top 3 or within top 3, after that big victory. So I'm honestly not expecting anything anymore. If that could happen, Morocco could potentially take this to game 3. You know, that was a long time, around 5 to 10 minutes of preparing, analyzing what happened, and now it's back to execution.
Yeah, I feel like for this respective team from Morocco, maybe they could learn a thing or two from Saudi Arabia, right? How were the underdogs able to cater towards the titans, the giants of MLBB known as Indonesia, or one of them, I suppose? But as of this moment, those questions are probably going to be answered right here, right now, as we go to game number 2. Both of the teams have switched sides, apparently. Fanny and Gatot Kacha still going to be the bans here for Morocco. Or actually, that Gatot Kacha is pretty new since, Shark has been given a lot of problems when he tends to really use that hero. On the other side, you have the Juicin, and in addition, you have the Suyu as well. So USA's definitely not allowing any of what happened in game 1 to happen in this game number 2.
Yeah, the Zushin and the Suyu, one of the newest additions in the Land of Dawn, both of them really strong in their respective roles. The Zushin did take a slight hit when they did change a bit of their damage and mana usage, but what's great about the Zushin right now is that without hitting other heroes, you could just land your lantern on anyone and deal free damage. But the moment it lands on heroes, it's going to be draining a bit of mana, which means that you could check bushes with it. The moment that your mana gets drained, that means there's a person in the bush, and that's what's beautiful about that. And with that, another ban coming in from USA, taking away the Phobius, one of the best picks in XP lane right now, but truly not the best, because if I were to talk about the best XP laners, you could put in Hilda, Khalid, and Gatot Kacha, and we did talk about Hilda quite recently. Looks like it's going to be locked in for USA.
Yeah, Morocco had the idea at some point in time, but the alpha is going to be available towards them. You rarely ever see Matilda get first picked in other different regions, right? We usually get to see it in the Philippines, but Morocco is trying to adapt that certain system of play style as well for them to practically dominate the early game just because they have the Matilda on their side. We've seen it work in game number 1 where they turned the tides around in like the first 2 minutes of gameplay, but USA has that different mixture with the alpha practically joining the fray now, so they're gonna have to rethink their strategy moving forward.
I'm not gonna say that this could be a good assassin game for the side of Morocco. This could be the perfect game that you could go back to the former tank or fighter jungle meta, because you're up against an Hilda anyway. Like, you wouldn't be able to survive that. If you pick a Ling, you pick a Hayabusa, that's technically writing that, hey, I will die to this Hilda. Might as well just go for the fighters or go for the tanks. I think a Fredrin, maybe a Barats could be good here. Even if you have that Eve, they could potentially just have that Matilda save themselves as well inside that team fight.
Yeah, Fredrin might be ideal here.
See, they're taking. They know what's up.
Morocco
knows what's up.
Yeah, they just know what's up. USA having the same idea as to what could be a potential counter towards that alpha for it to continuously wreak havoc towards Morocco. Meanwhile, on the other side, Morocco is going to be banning that turret, and I feel like for both of the teams, they are still missing that gold lane option. And as of this moment, Morocco and USA both need heroes in the gold lane that really deal a ton of damage per second, because I feel like that is what they're missing as of the moment. Just a lot of true damage maybe on the side of USA just because they have the alpha, but the sustain for Morocco is not going to be enough if you don't have damage to back it up.
A lot of options still if you're looking for damage, but I feel like the best one so far for USA would be the Beatrix. If you pair that Eve with a Beatrix, that's a lot of AoE control as well. They're going to take away the Moskov instead. A lot of options still available for Morocco, but looks like they're going to lock in the Beatrix for the side of USA. And now for the side of Morocco, they could potentially go in for... Oh, wait a minute. What is this?
Is this CC gold lane, my guy?
I think it's going to be a CC gold lane. Yes, I do think it's going to be a CC gold lane. Fight fire with fire.
Oh, wow.
Yes. Like,
Oh,
At
wow.
least you have that vengeance to save yourself from the Nibiru. But other than that, um, quite the daring composition coming in from Morocco. This is what we want. We asked for this. Like, let's be honest. We asked for something different, and now Morocco is delivering. Thank you so much, Morocco.
Maybe like the thought process coming in from Morocco is that they want to have a counter towards the. I feel like since they have the Hylos on their side, they wanted to deny USA of utilizing that CC because it is a really good counter towards that Hylos. But this is a pretty risky move, and you were thought about this before the start of the second game, right? If there is a means of experimentation where you're gonna have to kind of strike a balance between doing it and not doing it, this might be the prime opportunity for you to do so. Tournament life on the line, you know what's at stake. Maybe use something that a lot of these teams who are so used to international tournaments are practically not aware of. And I feel like as of this moment, CC is going to be the best bet of Morocco to extend this into a 3-game series. We're about to find that out in whether or not we will go to a game number 3, or will USA continue to proceed to face off against a rematch against Malaysia for that final spot in Group B. This time around, just like what we expected, it is Ayato that's going to be utilizing that CC to go to the gold lane.
Yeah. Exciting. Let's see if the yo-yo is enough to yo-yo them back in this entire series. But I love this Ruby pick, by the way. That Ruby last pick coming in from USA just counters a lot of the melee-centric stuff that Morocco wants to do and keeps them in check inside the real-world manipulation. And immediately, Kenji, in a 3v1 scenario, has the flicker if ever he does want to escape, uses it immediately. Shark, great initiation out there.
Yeah, I mean, at this point in time, for Morocco, there's been some sort of changes as to how they would be approaching this game. Because as of this moment, you finally have two heroes that could really deal a ton of pressure on towards the United States in the early portions of the game. You have the Matilda, and you also have the Hylos on your side. So engage initiation is indeed not going to be a problem. The only concern that I have here is how a rival can pace himself, especially when he goes up against the Alpha. You mentioned this a while ago, that this could practically not be a really good assassin game. And I feel like as of this moment, compared to game number 1, Super Rival's having a hard time.
Yeah, and then this is just the United States, a 3-man rotation, a literal goon squad looking for the jungler of Morocco. Just 3 people with the Hilda, the Ruby. You don't want to fight that, especially if one of them is level 4. And best player 1 on this game right now, this Alpha, already has the damage to just burst you down. So this might just be a free turtle. I don't see Morocco risking it so much, and that's gonna be first turtle of the game. And another engage as well. That's gonna be the +1. First blood goes to United States. Make that 2 kills. They're looking for Kenji as well. Shark might just go for that ulti, but doesn't pull the trigger. That's 2 kills and the turtle.
Yeah, this is the difference now for the United States of America. We've seen them kind of like be more assertive as to what they would want to do compared to game number 1, where they were practically hesitant on how they would approach the turtle fights. This time we saw Shark just going at it whenever possible, and there it goes again.
Yup, a blue fight in the purple buff. Best player 1 misses the Spear of Alpha. Big Terrify coming in from Heisenberg, but doesn't really give the purple buff to Morocco. United States keeping up the pressure. They're not even laning anymore, man. They're looking for kills again and again. They know that they have the power spike, and they're forcing it again and again. And now Ayato looks to it to be the next victim, and he's going to be able to walk away. This CC will have the sustain, but the question is, will he be able to stay in lane?
It's just too squishy, man. I thought at this point in time is just too squishy. I mean, yeah, it's understandable that Ayato is sharing at least a level 5 in terms of damage output with, T, but T has been taking really good care of himself, or should I say he's really been taken care of by the rest of the members of the United States, just because everybody else is not shy in utilizing those skills and ultimates to make sure that the pressure is going to be felt towards the rest of the members of Morocco. Look at them. There they go again, and here goes Chris Combat. I feel like he's going to go down once more.
Chris Combat uses that glorious pathway and the revitalize, lands on one, the turtle guard, best player one, still alive, half HP, sustaining on the heals, and looks like he's gonna get that orange buff as well. This is like the fourth buff that is stolen away from this Nolan, and I do think that he wasn't able to secure that purple buff, or maybe he was able to steal that away, but they were gonna look at their look at their hero portraits later on to see whether or not it was stolen away, but looks like he will be able to get his purple buff.
Yeah, that was just unfortunate from the side of Morocco. We've seen the Vexana a while ago utilize or use the entire thing, and look at that. That's quite unfortunate. It's just a good thing, though, that the Retribution has been utilized by Super Rival to get his, buff, but in exchange of a turtle and the kill going towards the US.
So much happening for United States right now. They're taking in turret plating, they're taking in the turtles, they're also getting kills after those objectives. I think Morocco is just lacking the ability to clean up after the responses that they make. United States has been pulling them again and again with those objectives, only to catch them off guard, out of position right after they get that objective.
Oh, just look at this. Here's going to be another one of those circling eagle attempts as well, and that is not going to go well. Good thing the flicker is going to be there just to save Genji from distress, but you know that the United States are looking forward to this. Here it goes again.
Oh my Spear of Alpha dealing like 3/4 of HP of Morocco out there. Heisenberg almost dying. Thankfully, he did have the Mathilda saving himself, but United States, they're definitely just pushing the pressure again and again. It's already 6 minutes in. Looking at the itemization of everyone, Morocco is yet to secure their second item. They're still on their first items, in United States already about to build their third ones, and this is just a clear indicator of how ahead United States is right now.
And the catalyst towards that has been the US getting most of those objectives. Look at this, White Chicken getting into the bush at the right amount of time, using that extra shield as well. My goodness, outplayed is an understatement. United States just really toying around Morocco as of this moment. What an unfortunate series of events for Ayato and Morocco.
Oh, that could have been a kill for Morocco. That could have been the kill for Ayato, but sadly, the passive shield coming in from the Hilda, coming in clutch for that final few hits of the yo-yo. And now for United States, 2 battles and 2 fronts, and that Super Rival going down. Here comes the ultimate coming in from Mathilda, but it is a 3v3. They find Kenji instead, and that's going to be a kill once again for USA. 2 people go down for the side of Morocco. Still a perfect game for the boys of NA.
Again, right from the start, the United States have been taking most of the buffs that would go onto the side of Morocco, and because of that, they were unable to invest in the damage output just because the resources are missing. Most of the buffs have been taken by the United States, which disabled them to actually set up more of those team fights, and for United States to be more assertive towards making their decisions in the early game. And because of that, we have established towards a 7k gold lead, and not only that, even with a 1v1 team fight, US wins.
Yeah, 1v1 between the junglers. Super Rival goes down once again. This is the second solo kill that we've seen in this entire series, and Best Player 1 definitely showing everyone that he just isn't an assassin one trick, but could also play the alpha. Now in the mid lane, the Beatrix dealing a lot of damage, able to dash out before he gets stunned up. United States not stopping, just continuing to push again and again.
This starts to become a problem for Morocco now, right? Because compared to what you've seen from before, you don't have any sort of wave clear as of this moment, rather than just Heisenberg using the Vexana. CC by Ayato is really going to be good for at least the single turret damage output or the single hero damage output, but in terms of like the wave clear, it's not the best scenario for you. Yes, you do have the speed, but how long can you run from the damage output of the United States?
And the thing is, they have been running. Morocco's been trying to run away from United States again and again just to extend this game. But for the side of USA, they've been going up front again and again. They've been using the Spear of Alpha, every time that it's up, every time Shark has the flicker, he's just up in front, up in the faces of Morocco, looking for that I'm offended. Now he's gonna check the bush here. He's gonna find one. He's probably gonna ulti, but looks like he doesn't pull the trigger for as of now.
Yeah, this is starting to be a really dominating game that arrived in faster motion compared to what we've seen in game number 1. 10K almost by the United States, and they are not very shy upon getting those objectives for themselves. And here they go again. It's best player to one, getting another one of those objectives once more without ever utilizing or using that retribution take of his. So now they are freely looking around this one, doing it in quick fashion. The US are going to be getting that first lure, the first major objective in 10 minutes of gameplay almost in Morocco. They're trying to force ways into the map by just going to the top side, but you know, they have more problems to work with around the base.
Well, at least they traded the Lord for something. They got a turret in the top side, but now they're gonna have to defend against this Lord. No kills on the board just yet for Morocco. In United States, they have all of the battle spells that they need to start a fight. One big flicker play could be the start of it. Real world manipulation already used as well. The Lord is still pushing down the mid lane. The inhibitor turret still up. Super rifle in the back. Spear of Alpha doesn't really land, but that's already one inhibitor down. And looks like the Hylos will be falling as well.
Yeah, the Hylos is now down. Chris Combat's gonna have at least 20 seconds to be able to stay alive, but there it goes again. There's Heisenberg landing on towards the rest of the members in, but there goes Shark with a I'm offended combo. 4 heroes are down, Super Rival left, and it seems like the country, the team that's gonna be moving forward is none other than the United States of America. The underdogs are not gonna be winning in this one. It's the team that you expected to take the victory are the ones who's going to claim their right for a rematch against Malaysia.
A quick 2-0. Morocco had it coming, but they did try their best, and hopefully everything that they've experienced here in IESF helps them to become a better team, or maybe share that knowledge with the rest of the Moroccan teams out there. But for USA, the journey continues. The rematch is bound to happen. The drama versus the easy server is going to happen, and surely the community is just happy to see that rematch. And overall, I just have to go back to that one big play or one big call coming in from the side of USA in that game number 2. Stay aggressive. The moment that you have that level 4 on this alpha, you just stay with them, try to find fights again and again, because there's really not a lot of junglers right now in the current meta that could fight against an alpha in a 2v2 setup.
Yeah, the one hero that could really fight well against the alpha has been banned in game number 2, so you know, US pretty much very much aware of that situation, and I feel like that is something that the US has used to get the victory towards Morocco. And unfortunately, Morocco hasn't even scored in terms of the kill score. They were trying to look for, you know, some sort of kills here. Even Ayato had his eyes set on White Chicken upon almost taking that hill down. Unfortunately, those passives came around just in time, especially with him hiding on the bush, regenerating his HP bar, and all of a sudden, it's Morocco left into the dust.
Yeah, and then moving forward in this tournament, USA, they still have a lot of games to play, and for Morocco, they could just enjoy, absorb everything that's happening in Riyadh, because that's a once-in-a-lifetime experience, I would say. Like, being able to see all of these talented players, being able to be one of them as well, being able to see around the venue is definitely something that they could enjoy, because surely, with the IESF happening in Riyadh right now, it's not just MLBB. It's going to be a lot of games out there. It's going to be a lot of other people out there. You might even meet your idols from other titles as well. So it's going to be a real experience out there for Morocco, and hopefully they do enjoy that journey. But for USA, the tournament continues, and it's going to be a hard one once again.